Hey, it's Alex Ralka from Board Game Co. And today we are covering Set a Watch Sword of the Coin. Set a Watch Sword of the Coin. I'm going to save you a lot of time right now. You can just skip to the end of the video, timestamps down below. Basically, if you're interested in this game, go ahead and back it. I'll get more into it, don't get me wrong, of course I will. But if you're interested in this game, the amount of monetary difference of even being wrong is pretty minimal, and this is effectively not a second printing, but a re-release, slight adjustment to an otherwise already well-liked, well-vetted game. And if you're pulled in, just back it. Just save yourself time, go watch another video. I'll see you tomorrow. This has been fun. To be clear, it's not the best back ever necessarily, but even if you lose out, it's not by much, and it's a good game. It's a good game, so just back it. And if you're wondering what happened to Alex, where'd he go, and who's this guy sitting in front of the camera, I hear you, I do. But sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I have a soft spot for a project when the monetary difference isn't much, meaning getting it now versus getting it later. It's a small company, a good creator, putting out good games, and a good game. So whatever, so you lose $5 or something. I don't know what I'm doing here. In any case, let's go into Set a Watch. Let's talk about this game, and let's go into all the stuff, including whether you should or shouldn't save $5 or whatnot. So, Set a Watch is a 1 to 4 player game, a game that I would not recommend playing more than 2 players and really 1 player. And if you look at Board Game Geek will validate that to a degree. We have 72.9% say it's best with 1, 52% say it's recommended with 2, and then once you get to 3 and 4, it just seems to be a complete, don't try it at all. Speaking for myself, I played it with 1 and 2, and I would never play it with 2 again. Even 2, I found such a subpar experience compared to the thoroughly enjoyable solo play it is. And what is this game? And let's talk about Set a Watch and then Set a Watch Sword of the Coin, because they are different games and they have, well, differences. But Set a Watch, the game that is already out, the 7.4 on Board Game Geek, rated best with 1, plays in about 45 minutes to an hour. If you're really quick, half an hour, but that is a little hard to do. It is basically a game in which you have 4 adventurers that are trying to survive the night, that they're being beset by creatures in the wood, and you have to set a watch. And at every round, you're going to have one person going back to camp who has to maintain, chop firewood, do different things to maintain the existence of the camp, and the other 3 adventurers will go out in a line and fight this slowly increasing line of monsters that is approaching your camp, that is coming towards you. And there are different mechanics in the game that make this game thoroughly enjoyable, from the aspect of the campfire and the fire and how far down that line you can see. Because there will be a lot of tactical choices you're going to want to make. There's going to be a lot of decisions you want to make, but if you can't see far enough down that line, then you can't, do much. You can't plan around what creatures are coming. You can't take too many ranged actions. You want to get as much visibility so you can plan accordingly. But that takes resources, it takes time, it takes energy you can otherwise spend fighting, and that's one of many decisions you'll have to make. Every one of your adventurers comes with different abilities that you'll have access to in different ways, and those abilities will be, well, they're fun to combo, they're fun to utilize. And there are different abilities that will change the game in different ways, from the manipulation of the creatures in the row with the Beastmaster, from just having a pure tank and grunt and whatnot, being able to tank the line, to shooting people. There's all different kinds of things you can do in this game to tackle those creatures that are slowly imposing or impeding or encroaching, that's a good word, encroaching upon your camp. And that is basically what Set a Watch is. It is a survival game in which 4 adventurers, ideally handled by 1 player, but you can split it up and do 2 and 2. Do not by any means play this as a 4-player game, because a 4-player game means one person is basically sitting out every single round, and a 3-player game means you lose that identity aspect of actually feeling it's your character, because you have to rotate in order to not be out every round. So basically, 1-player game, maybe 2, 3 and 4 just play so you can prove me wrong or whatnot. I mean, after all, there is one person who says best with 3 and 4, 5 people says best with 4, so there's definitely some people who feel that way. In any case, that's Set a Watch. Let's cover Sword of the Coin. Swords of the Coin, which every time it gets me, by the way. I cannot stop reading Sword of the Coin. It is Swords of the Coin. Set a Watch, Swords of the Coin, is the highly anticipated standalone expansion to Set a Watch. You can play this game by itself, you can jump into the series with this game alone, you don't even need to have played Set a Watch, or you can combine them to mix and match even further the options on the table. And when I say options on the table, before we even get into what differentiates Set a Watch Swords of the Coin, I'll say that one of the biggest things that Set a Watch has in terms of variability is the different characters you will play with, because every game you are picking 4 characters to play with, and you want them to feel different. If you only have 4 characters, well, your experience is basically going to be the same every single time. But if you have 5, 6, 7, if you add the Set A Watch expansion characters, if you're up to 11, 12 characters, whatever you get up to, that provides significantly more options in the variability of your experience and the ways you can mix and match different characters to utilize different abilities and different sequences and different combinations. That will be one of the bigger variability aspects of Set A Watch. Don't get me wrong, the approach of the creatures in the line, the randomization therein, the locations you do, there are definitely a lot of other things that are variable in this game, but the others don't feel as obviously variable as the characters in play. The characters in play, in my opinion, are the biggest strength to feeling like this game is different every time you play it. And so first off and first and foremost, if you're interested in this game, Set A Watch Swords of the Coin is giving you more characters. That is offhand what it is doing, and you can combine the two. So if you're sitting there saying, well, I only really need one of them, that's true. You do only need one of them, but if you like this game, you're going to want both of these. Secondly, from there, the characters in Set A Watch Swords of the Coin are a little bit more advanced. They take the same basic mechanics of the game, but the characters have a little bit more going on in terms of the way that they are going to work within the game. They are considered more advanced characters. They have said that it's still a good entry point if you're into games, still a good entry point to the series, but definitely steps it up a notch, which for me is really just a good thing, because if anything, one of my problems with Set A Watch was that it was a drop simplistic, and I'll get into my own feelings of Set A Watch because they have evolved over time. But secondly, from there, the campfire is going to be slightly different. There's going to be an aspect of a campfire in which you're going to be able to utilize different areas in the camp that you don't utilize will stack up coins, and then you can go there and collect all the coins that were there. So a slight gameplay adjustment into how the camp phase works for that standalone character that's sitting in camp by himself. And then finally, if you get the expansion over here, I shouldn't say finally, but next up, if you get the expansion, which is one of the optional buys, if I can find it here, is we have the Outriders expansion, which introduces a new rider mechanic in which different creatures can combine with each other in order to create stronger creatures. So if you're not careful, you'll have a dragon rider that will show up next to a dragon, they combine, and suddenly you have a stronger creature. So it's one more tactical element to be aware of on the map and the way the creatures combine, as well as one more possible just bad luck situation in which you just get something a little that you're just not prepared to deal with. And that is overall Set A Watch as far as the gameplay aspect is concerned. With that said, let's go through the funding goals. Let's go through the funding levels. To begin with, we have the Sword of the Coin, which gives you the base game of Set A Watch Swords of the Coin. That's all it gives you here. It seems to be, there's a little bit of a lack of clarity here, and this is something that's going to be a little hard to cover with the whole should you back it or not, to the point that I debated not doing this video because of it, because I don't like coming to the table with incomplete information, no matter how hard I try, didn't try, whatever. I just don't like coming to the table with an unknown. The reason I was willing to hear is because I think I know what's going on, and also because I still think you should get this game. But Swords of the Coin, Set A Watch Swords of the Coin, the problem we have here is if you look at the original Kickstarter, they broke it up into a retail edition pledge level and then a deluxe edition pledge level. In the new Kickstarter, they just have, for $28, closer to that $29, it seems to be it's just a deluxe edition pledge level, no retail option. The problem is if you look at the stretch goals, it's not 100% clear because one of these stretch goals says Kickstarter exclusive, which means what are the rest of these? Are these all available in retail? I'm not certain. I'm not clear. And to take it even further than that, Quest for the Monk over here, the social goal, just says Quest for the Monk, doesn't say anything over here, which is notable because in the original Kickstarter, if you look at the original Kickstarter, Quest for the Bard, Kickstarter exclusive right next to it. So that social stretch goal said Kickstarter exclusive, this one doesn't. So what's going on here? Is it just a retail edition that's available to everyone? And so I literally posted in the comments because I went through a lot of things. I went through the FAQ, I went through Board Game Geek, I went through anything, through all the comments, I went through everything I could to try to find a defined answer to this question of, is this pledge level straight up available everywhere? And it's not clear because, and it's worth noting, in the original Kickstarter, this Set A Watch, the retail edition plus stretch goals, all basic stretch goals, that was all available in the retail copy. So is that the same thing that's happening here? And I posted a comment for it. I said, for the life of me, I can't find this anywhere. Are the stretch goals an extra Kickstarter character exclusive, Kickstarter exclusive, or are they showing up in the retail edition? And Mike, the creator, answered, we're effectively only offering the deluxe edition through Kickstarter with all stretch goals. I didn't feel it made sense to create confusion with multiple editions and different reward tiers. Still not 100% clear, but yeah, basically it's not 100% clear, but it does seem to be that this deluxe edition is what we have here, and that all these options are all available, well, in the deluxe edition, but not in retail. Again, not 100% clear. I am not certain, especially because this little Kickstarter exclusive thing is throwing me off. I don't know why you'd say this here and not everywhere else, even with what Mike is saying. In any case, moving on from there, and it's relevant though, but factor that in. But $28, and that's the other factor, which is $28 puts it closer to the deluxe edition last time. So either the retail edition is going to have a higher price to boot as well to match that, or this is the deluxe edition. Again, a little lack of clarity. But $28 gets you the base game of, Set of Watch, Swords of the Coin. For $44, you get Cult of the New, which is Swords of the Coin, the Outriders expansion, and the playmat. Then for $59, you get the Rookie Adventurer, which is Swords of the Coin, plus Set of Watch, the deluxe version of it. Not the retail, but the deluxe version of the original Set of Watch. It will be shipping at the same time as this, not earlier, because they're basically doing a full reprinting of it. And then for $75, you get the All-In, which is Swords of the Coin, Set of Watch Deluxe, the Cloth Playmat, all Unlock Stretch Goals, and the Outriders expansion. Those are all the pledge levels on the table, and they give you basically what they said over there. So let's cover the optional buys, because those are in 2 of their stretch goals, which is we have the Outriders expansion. This is going to give you 34 new creatures, as well as 6 Unhallowed, introducing the new Rider mechanic, available for $9, slightly cheaper in those bundles. Whenever you look at the bundles, they are slightly cheaper. We have $9 for a 9x24-inch cloth playmat. I'm usually not a playmat person. I'm kind of intrigued by this because I think it really fits for this game, and it's on the smaller side and on the less expensive side, so I am kind of interested in it, but I haven't made up my mind there yet. For a Set of Watch Deluxe, we have $35 to bring this to the table. Yes, it was $29 in the original Kickstarter, and that is because it should be that way, because you should be rewarded for backing something before it's already validated. There's more risk associated. I'm totally fine with the prices being different. And then lastly, we have the Upgrade Pack, which is for $9. We'll take your regular edition of Set of Watch and basically make it more premium and whatnot. Now, this one's a little bit interesting only because officially in retail, like if you go to Miniature Market or whatnot, it's not available right now, to be clear, but for $22 you can get Set of Watch, and then for $9 you can get the Upgrade Pack, making it a little cheaper here. But again, it's not available right now, which is one factor, and well, that's really just not available right now, which is one factor. So let's go into, should you back it, should you not, what do I think, what's my opinion of the game? So to begin with, what's my opinion of the game, and am I backing this? I think Set of Watch was an excellent game. I enjoyed playing it the first few times that I played it. I really enjoyed it, and I was such a fan of it when I first got it to the table, and continued to play it. And then over multiple plays, it kind of started to feel a little samey for me. Or not necessarily samey so much as pre-scripted, that the options on the table were mostly clear, and I enjoyed the adventure, I enjoyed the story, but I felt the game was a little bit lacking. That being said, perhaps it's the nostalgia of rose-colored glasses, but as soon as they announced this expansion, I looked into it more. I was like, I want to get it back. Not only that, I want to play it with the new characters that are more advanced. And I want to combine the characters so I have more options on the table, so it feels even less samey, because every single game can be an even more nuanced differences of the way characters can combine. So I think, honestly, I think the 7.4 rating is an accurate rating of the way I feel. It's a solid game for me. But it's not a game that's amazing or incredible. But it also fills a very good niche in my collection. It fills this aspect of playing in 30 to 60 minutes as a solo game with an adventure feel and not a super high price point. All in all, it's checking a lot of decent boxes. Sure, it's always fighting for table time, just like every other game on my shelf, but it has an accessibility that many others don't. This is kind of a great game for when I want something a little bit more than Onirim, a little bit more than Sprawlopolis, but I'm not yet ready to jump into a game of Spirit Island or Terraforming Mars. This is a good 30 to 45 minute solo experience that I want back in my collection. And so yes, I will be getting my hands on this game. I will be trying to back this game, or not trying, I will be backing this game to get this game. I am interested in Set of Watch, Swords of the Coin. As far as the value proposition, will it hold its value or not? Well, really, we just look at the original Set of Watch, again, with a little caveat because of the fact that I'm not clear what's deluxe and what's not deluxe here. But the original Set of Watch, at $29 for the deluxe edition, it is, when you went to Board Game Geek Marketplace to buy it after the fact, it's sold for more than that. We have prices ranging from anywhere from $32 here is the retail edition, not even anything fancy, just the $22. We have prices ranging from $45 when it first came out, even scroll all the way to current times right now, and you still see $45, $35, $35. These are people who are effectively getting their pledge back plus shipping, because shipping comes in, or came in, at $7 for just the core game. So you're talking about $36, and even 2 years later, people are still selling that for $35. And yes, I've clicked through these various links to see which ones are which. So Set of Watch is a game that the deluxe edition holds its value even through until today. From when it first came out till today, holds its value just fine. As far as Set of Watch, Swords of the Coin, again, it's going to be, yes, it holds its value with an asterisk. Now, first of all, if you want this game sooner than other people, yes, you should get it. If you are someone who enjoys Set of Watch, yes, you should get it. If you are someone new to the franchise of Set of Watch, you should maybe back for $1, try to get your hands on Set of Watch, and play that first, and then see if you should get everything else. Or just go ahead and get it. At the end of the day, the proposition here, at the end of the day, the costs of the games involved here are either, worst case scenario, even assuming complete retail, you're out $5. Even assuming complete retail, even assuming this $28 pledge level, you'll spend $7, it'll be $35, it'll show up in miniature market for $28, and you'll basically lose out on the $7 shipping, but you won't have to place a $100 order on miniature market. So worst case scenario, you're out $7, you get the game earlier, and again, I understand that usually I'm all for saving those $7, but I think it's a good game. And I'm not even sure if you are saving $7 because of that whole deluxe thing. If it is a deluxe on Kickstarter only pledge, then it's more than that. This won't be available for less than $40. It'll be available for $40 down the road on the marketplace or whatnot. So overall, this is one where I believe it will hold its value to a degree, again with that little asterisk in it. As far as the optional buys, I'd go ahead and get the Outriders. It's more variability. I don't think it's as necessary as all that, by the way. If I were skipping on something, I'd be happy to skip on these, because for me, the characters added such a degree of variability to the game, but the actual creatures less so. I'm happy to get it. I'll be getting it, but I don't think it's as essential. And then the cloth playmat is really up to you. That is the one that I haven't decided on yet, but definitely do the math on the various bundles, because it does add up, or it does work in your favor the more you actually bundle, all the way up into including that $75 all-in pledge. And so that's basically Set a Watch. A great game, an amazing solo experience, is something that is worth checking out. It's worth linking to for yourself, and overall the whole value thing, again, like I said, is a little iffy because of that lack of certainty on what is or isn't Kickstarter exclusive. But overall, worst case scenario, you're losing $7, and best case scenario, it's a pretty good buy. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and have a good one.